Hi everyone, I'm Andrew with RunSignup, and today I'm going to be talking about a super exciting topic, which is financial reporting. Financial reporting is what I'll be discussing today. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a hoot and a half. No, you know what? A hoot and a third. I know it went lower. It's just, come on, let's be realistic. It's still finances. All right, so first off, get to your race dashboard. And you can find your financial report under this tab for financial. Super cryptic, I know. Then you go to summary, and we're there. Here we are. That wasn't hard. Painless, even. This first line here, transactions, that shows the total credit card payments for your race. And that's going to be all the credit card payments that have gone through your race, including processing fees, donations, registrations, store purchases, add-on purchases. I'm using the same fingers. I don't know if that's okay in a list, but I've run out of fingers on this hand for which to count. But if you go to transactions, you can see I did an addition to the refund reserve. That was $340.20. We've got additional purchases, we've got registrations, group setup fees, donations. It's a lot of stuff. Not everything you see will be settled yet, so it could take a day or maybe even more if it's over the weekend for the transaction to be settled in the credit card network. And we don't include any transaction on a payment to you unless it's been settled. So ignoring these dates here, let's say that all these transactions came in on a Monday night. These might not be included when we're trying to figure out what your payment should be, because these might not be settled yet by the time we do your payment on Tuesday morning. Also, if you happen to see a payment made and then you check back later and it's just gone from this report, that probably means that somebody canceled the payment. On the registration confirmation page, we have a section here that allows people to clear their transaction within 15 minutes of registering. So if you see something in that report and then it disappears, they probably did clear here and remove the transaction. So the next line is the transaction processing fees. So what this line is showing you here is just the processing fees that were paid for your race. And if you're working with a timer or a partner who charges a processing fee, that number will be included in here too. So it could be RunSignup's processing fee plus whatever the timer or partner has as their processing fee. Now, depending on your race, you might have a few extra lines here. You might see sales tax remitted by RunSignup. In marketplace states, we calculate and we collect the sales tax from the participant, and we deal with that from there. We send it out to the appropriate states, and by we, I mean someone who's not me, because yikes, sales tax. One thing to remember about this sales tax line here, this is just the sales tax that's remitted by RunSignup Inc. So that's just the money that we're collecting for marketplace states. If it's a non-marketplace state, that's not going to be included in this line because we don't take that part out of the total transactions. The sales tax for non-marketplace states would come to you, and then you would have to pay that to the states. A few other lines you might see in here are other transaction fees, perhaps from USAT payments, RaceJoy buyout payments, or Road ID purchases, things like that. And also we have directly paid charity donations. So if you set up a charity on your race and you let the charity set up their own payment account so that the payments for the charity went directly to them and not to you to be sent to them, then those will be listed here. And again, that's just directly paid charity donations. So if you have a charity set up and it doesn't have its own payment account, then you're still getting the money for that. You're not going to see a line that breaks that out. But all those donations will be included in this transaction section. So you'll be able to look at your donation report, see how much money you owe to a charity, and you would send that to the charity. So the next line we're going to look at is refunds. If you click there, you can see all the refunds that have gone through your race. RunSignup refunded a registration here. He's not doing that 88 miler anymore. He refunded a lot of purchases. Wow. Eric Matthews, he also refunded his registration for the 88 miler. And then looks like Corey and Topanga followed suit. And then I guess Topanga registered again and then just refunded her registration for fun. What are you doing, Topanga? Anyway, this is going to show you all the refunds that go through your race. So they could be refunds that you're doing on the back end. They could be refunds that you allow your participants to do. Maybe you have referral refunds turned on, or fundraiser refunds, or group refunds. Any type of refund you're going to find in this report here. And I do want to mention, because I don't know if you saw this earlier, but when I used that 15-minute window to clear my transaction, I did get a notice here as the participant that says your credit card has been refunded. You're not going to see that type of refund in your report. So when someone clears a transaction, it doesn't show up in the transactions here, and it won't show up as a refund here. If you happen to be curious and you want to know, hey, who cleared their transactions, then you can go to Participants, View Participants, then search Change Event, search all fields, and then under registration status, you can set that to cleared and update the report. And I can see that 5 people have cleared their transaction in the past. And these people stay in this report even if they signed up again afterwards. So like RunSignup here, who signed up for the 1 mile fun run, but then cleared the transaction within the 15 minutes. If I go to search change event, search all fields, I could search for active registrations and update the report. and I see, okay, Ron is in the race, but he's doing the 88 miler. So maybe Ron signed up for that 1 mile fun run, and then like 10 minutes later, he's like, you know what? I should add 87 more to that. And then he just cleared the transaction and then signed up for this 88 miler. The next line we have here is the refund processing fees line. It does cost RunSignup money to process refunds, so we usually charge a $1 processing fee per refund to cover those refunds. At the moment, we have waived that processing fee due to the situation with the coronavirus, so currently there is no $1 processing fee per refund. But if there were, it would show up right here. So I see I paid $23 in refunds here, so that means I have 23 refunds because $1 per refund. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to count them all here. Not that I can't count. I can count to 23. Ask anybody who's willing to lie for me. But I'm not going to waste time in the video counting to a number that's so high. But for most people, not for me. And just one more thing you might see in your report is an excused refunds fee line. Not every race is going to have this line in the report, but these are refunds that were not charged to the race. But back to a standard looking report, the next line is holdbacks. And you can learn more about holdbacks here and here. Or just go to the RunSignup blog, that's runsignup.blog, do the search for holdback, search it, and you've got a whole bunch of articles on our holdbacks. Holdbacks are the funds that are being held for your race primarily for refunds and chargebacks. Chargebacks are when the customer contacts their credit card company and asks them to reverse the charge that they made. So it's pretty much forcing a refund. It's the customer having the credit card company put the money back onto the card, whereas a refund is you having the credit card company put the money back on the card. Now, if you go to runsignup.blog, you can find an article there called Understanding the Financial Summary page. This is basically just a written out version of everything I'm saying in this video, so if you thought I was smart and I actually knew what I was talking about, do not get the wrong impression. I'm just reading from the page. I was pretending, of course, like this was all common knowledge to me, like, yeah, financial reporting, let me walk you through that. I know what I'm talking about, but no. Usually if you ask me about the financial report, I break down in tears and then I email Sue. But anyway, I am gonna read the holdback section here, just right off the page, because the holdback thing is kind of new and I wanna make sure I get you accurate information. So this $9,358.40, that's just the example holdback for the race up here. Again, these are reserves that we hold to cover potential chargebacks, and you can read our reserve policies here. You see how that's bluish with a line underneath? You can click on that, you know, it'll bring you somewhere else. You know how links work. Currently, we hold 20% of the registration fees, and then we go into a deeper dive on how it's calculated right here. So reserves are only required on registration fees, not the donations, not memberships, and not processing fees. The blog says if you click on that holdbacks link, it brings you to a page that looks something like this, and then they have this screenshot. Now there is a note here that the third row of the top left table is not going to appear for you. That's a data field that we see as RunSignup administrators. So up here, you can see this admin only field. That's not going to show up for you. That's just for admins only. So up here, we can see the desired reserve and the current reserve. Since the desired reserve is more than the current reserve, we subtract the current reserve from the desired reserve and we get this $698. So that's how much more money we need to fill the holdback on this sample race. Next up on the blog, it says you might be wondering why the desired reserve is $10,056.40 when the total transactions are $62,941.20, and 20% of that would be $12,588.24. I know that I, for one, was wondering that exact same thing, because when I saw $62,941.20, I was like, wait a second, 20% of that is $12,588.24. So this blog is speaking right to me, and it says there are two reasons for that. This can be difficult to calculate since only settled transactions are included. Said another way, you might drive yourself crazy if you try to calculate this all yourself, although you could from downloading all the detailed transaction reports once transactions are marked as settled. So that's the first reason there, only settled transactions are included. And then the second reason is that the holdback page shows a number of refund reserve transfers. You're going to see those refund reserve transfers. We do calculations to determine new transactions that have come in and add to the reserve once an hour. However, again, it is only for settled transactions. It is likely that tonight the $698 shortfall, that's the $698 that we saw up here to get to this desired reserve amount, it's likely that tonight that shortfall will be picked up from transactions that are happening later. Since in the example this is a successful virtual race that is seeing continuous registrations on a daily basis. Finally, on the holdback reserve section, if your race is not actively taking in enough new transactions, then there is a Manage Reserve button, and this will allow you to add to your reserve with a credit card or with an ACH or wire transfer. And just a note while we're on this page, you can set this Prevent Refund Reserve Release Until date. This is especially useful if your race has passed and you're offering refunds still, because after the race passes, if your current reserve amount is higher than the required reserve, anything extra will auto-release to your race. So if you want to keep the excess in there, set the date here and say do not release the money until whichever date you put here. So that was the holdback section. Next up we have this line for adjustments. Now the adjustments can be pretty much anything, so it says see the description on each adjustment for more details. I can click on adjustments and I can see which adjustments have been made for my race. This section usually doesn't have a lot going on with it. You can see here I've got transferred money from the Jingle Bell Run. That's money that I moved from the Jingle Bell Run into this race's account. I've got transferred money to the Jingle Bell Run. That's money that I moved from this race into the Jingle Bell Run. So this is typically a pretty quiet report until recently with all the chargebacks that people do. I don't have any listed here because this is a test race, but if somebody did a chargeback and they were actually successful at getting their money back from that, then you would find that in the adjustment section here. And if you just want to see a list of chargebacks that were done for your race, you can go to Financial. And then down here, we have chargebacks. So this is for if you just want to see the chargebacks without any of the other adjustments on your race. So we've got positive and negative numbers here. That's all put together. We get $95, and that's what we see when we go to Summary and look at the adjustments. All right, so now we're entering the finish line area, this gray box here. This is just all good news. We've looked at adjustments. Those can be okay sometimes depending on what they are. Holdbacks, not the worst thing in the world because that money is still scheduled to go to you as long as people aren't doing chargebacks or refunds. Refunds though, that's a lousy section of the report. That money is not coming back to you. We should actually rename this section from refunds to re-not fun. Re-not funds. Because you see here, the word fun is in refund, but I'm saying this section isn't fun. So re-not funds, no, we can just cut that part. All right, just make a note, we're gonna lose that and no one will ever know. Thank you. What, I'm the editor? Okay, well, I'll remember to cut that out. And of course there's the transaction section up top here that shows you all the money that's flowing through the race. That's nice to see, but the best part is down here. So let's start with owed to race. This is the net amount of money that is owed to your race. So this number here, that's how much your race is getting paid. This is the total of all of these items here. So all of this put together gets you this number here, and that's how much your race is getting paid. The next line we have here is for payments, and that shows you checks and direct deposits that are made to the race. Now this is a fake race, so I don't actually have any payments here, but let me just edit the page really quick. Okay, that should do it. All right, so in this example, I have $700 in payments already. Maybe I got a check for $400 and then another check for $300, or two $200 payments and then one $300 payment. However many payments I got, that's all added up and placed right here. And that's subtracted from this total here to get you the balance owed. So this is the net owed to the race after the payments are made. So this is everything that your race made. This is everything that we paid out to your race already. And then this is what we still need to pay your race. Now the balance owed amount that you're seeing right there, don't expect that to be the exact amount that you're gonna see in your next check from us, because this number is being calculated off of all of these numbers here. And not everything in this number up here is necessarily settled yet. And we don't pay funds until they have been settled, so this number here might not match the exact payment that you're gonna see in your next check or direct deposit. But if you wanna get an estimate on that, you can go to payment account. And then we have this estimated next payment, which will estimate a day and an amount. And again, this is estimated. You might not even get a payment on this date. What you should do is scroll down, see what your payment schedule is, do view payment schedule, and that has information on how you received your payments. If you set up your payment account to have a check option, even if it's weekly, do view the payment schedule, because there are stipulations in there. You have to have at least $1,000 in order for a payment to be released by check. And if you're not getting to $1,000, it'll be when the oldest transaction has been waiting for 90 days. So if I have my test race here set up with the check option, and the balance owed to me was actually like $995, I'm probably not gonna get a check until I at least get $1,000 in here. And then when I do get $1,000, it might not be this amount on the check, because again, we issue a check for all settled funds. And even if you're doing direct deposit, we transfer all settled funds. So while this number is owed to your race, that is the amount that you will be getting eventually. It might not be the exact number on the next payment. That being said, under the payment account tab, we do have that estimated next payment, and you can click Manage Payment Account here to get some more details on your upcoming payment. So that's the financial summary page if anybody's still awake. If not, hey, it's done. The video's done. You can go now. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the nap.